What? It was Shimada, drenched from head to toe.
島田君。
Oh, I thought it was the Hammerman. Emmy shot forward, intending to run towards him, but I grabbed her arm and held her back without even thinking about it. She turned and looked at me with a puzzled expression.
私無理。え、まさかなんかされたの？うん。よかった。こんな時だし、起こったことだけでも伝えておかないと。
She looked back at me again, as she said this, staring right into my eyes in the most disciplinary manner. Bleh. It was the perfect guilt stare. I couldn't help but succumb to it, feeling bad for not having filled her in on the Shimada incident. Shimada continued his slow, wet walk down the hall, and then suddenly, for no discernible reason, simply fell forward, landing hard on his knees. Something was wrong with him, and while I loathed the man, I didn't want to see him suffer. Emmy and I were both poised to rush in to his aid, when other figures randomly began appearing all around him. Figures of children, blue, ethereal, shimmering with their own light. Ugh. We could barely even see Shimada from our vantage point. His body was obscured almost completely by the backs of those ghost children. He wasn't moving though, so it didn't seem like they were doing anything to him. But then he wasn't moving at all, which seemed highly suspicious. It occurred to me that maybe we should try to save him. I inched forward. He was still exactly in the same spot and position that he'd been when he fell to his knees. He literally hadn't moved at all. Was he unconscious? Emmy and I looked at one another and then nodded. It was a silent signal to move forward and do whatever we could to help. The children vanished as we approached, revealing a horrific sight. Shimada's stomach had been flayed wide open. He was dead. The knife he flaunted earlier was jutting from his wound. It was an almost ceremonial death, like that of a samurai who'd thrown himself on his own sword. Told you no one dealt with the children. That's kind of a problem. Yuya, presumably rushed down to see what was wrong, calmly walked over to Shimada's body. He was checking for signs of respiration or pulse. He turned back to face us for a moment. His facial expression said it all. Shimada really was dead. I was beginning to lose it. I just couldn't take any more of this. My friends and acquaintances were dying one by one. I guess I should say had died, but it didn't seem like it was over. Not by a long shot.
やばいよ、ここ。何かいる。私たちを殺そうとしてる。
Hell, it was doing it more than trying. It had already succeeded twice over. I was scared, I was paranoid, I was shaking and crying and screaming inside, and I was deathly afraid that something else would show up. And then it did. Sachiko. It was a little girl in a red dress, standing between us and the third-floor staircase. I couldn't make out the expression on her face through her bangs, but I could literally feel the hatred in her eyes as she stared into our souls. Then she turned around and slid up the staircase into the third-floor hallway. Emmy turned the other way, so she hadn't seen the girl at all. She eventually followed our gazes, but by that time the girl was gone. She looked confused. That particular apparition looked a lot different than the other ghosts I'd seen, but there was still doubt in my mind. She definitely was a ghost.
大川君は連れてこようよ。とにかく出なきゃ、この学校から。私呼んでくる。
待て。
Oh.
ゆうや、私も。
危険だ。ここで待っていろ。
Dangerous. Well, that is the direction the girl in the red dress went. And I guess Yuya didn't want me to be put in harm's way. I nodded and watched his back recede into the darkness, chasing after Emmy. Toko. So we know she ended up at the pool.
落ち着け、トウコ。冷静な心にかなう武器はない。今一番大事なことは何？
What was going on? Why was Emmy screaming? I could hear voices now. Emmy and Okawa were having a heated argument.
無理よ、置いて逃げなきゃ捕まるわ。
こいつを置いていけないだろう。早く病院へ連れて行かなきゃ。
He's dead. He's dead. No.
死んでない。
Yeah, it's just denial.
死んでない。死んでないんだ。
Leave him and run, we'll get caught. That ghost girl must have been pursuing them.
大変だ。行かなきゃ。
This is bad. I have to go help them. What the?
人殺し
Katayama's body was sprawled unceremoniously on the landing halfway up the third floor, along with Okawa. I hate his name. Okawa. At the top of the stairs stood Emi, and in front of her, Yuya, with an imposing scowl on his face. I think he's just had it with your bullshit, whiny guy. He's dead. Get over it. If you want to bring him, I'll toss him unceremoniously down the stairs. He's, I guess, creative problem solving. I didn't understand any of this. What had just happened? It makes sense to me. He chucked dead body downstairs. To kind of, you know, bring it home he's dead. Emi let out another scream and came running towards me down the stairs. Uh-oh, scary music. Decision time? Okawa then seemed as if he'd fallen and broken his arm. Oh. He was lopsidedly crawling towards me. It was almost as if he was trying to distance himself from Yuya. Whimper.
人殺し
Dude, he's already dead. He's not a murderer. Yet. I ran up to the base of the stairs to meet up with Emi. I needed some sort of context here.
エミ、何？どうしたの？
逃げろ逃げろ殺されるぞ
ひさみくんが急に落としたの。急に。
I glanced up at Yuya, but his face was shrouded in darkness. I couldn't make out any expression at all. Hey, he's getting his ass moving, isn't it? Okawa seemed to have reached his breaking point. He shot to his feet and took off behind me towards the second floor as fast as he could run. Yuya kicked Okawa down the stairs. Why? It seemed to work to me if he kicked him down to get his ass moving because he's hugging a dead body too long.
嘘でしょ。
Slowly, he walked down to the landing. He was neither concerned nor scornful. His face was a blank slate. As soon as he reached my level, he bent down and began fiddling with Katayama's body, raising his arms, then letting them drop, wiping blood from the ears and nose, and then looking at it as if studying the specimen under a microscope. What the hell? He was enjoying this? I finally got to see an emotion written clearly on his face, and it was elation. How was this not some crazy dream? Tears began spilling from my eyes like water. I was shocked, confused, and I didn't even know what else.